Welcome to another episode of Two River TV. I'm Jon Peters here with Mary from E&M Gold Beekeepers, and we're going to take a look at the bee yard and probably ask some bee questions first before we have to suit up. People talk about the honey flow. What is the honey flow and when does it start?
It's actually beginning right now, even though it's not enough honey to harvest. The first things that start to bloom are the maples, believe it or not. Of course, we see bees on the crocuses, which are just about past. Our major honey flow is the black locust tree, which will come up. We have a few in here. They aren't blooming yet, but after that tree blooms, which is usually in late May, we harvest our first honey.
So you'll harvest in late May or early June.
And that is our spring wildflower.
Now, will that be a lighter color honey? Because you hear about light honey.
Different color.
Okay, so the light honey comes in the early spring.
Yes.
Is there a reason for that?
It's the color of the nectar.
Wow.
Yeah. Later in the season, the bees collect from flowers that produce a darker honey.
And do you notice a difference in the taste?
Yes.
And when you sell your honey, do you separate it between light and dark?
Yes, we do. We have two different varieties of wildflower honey, spring wildflower and summer wildflower, which we harvest in the fall.
Wow. Now, why do beekeepers often refer to their bees as their girls? I hear that all the time, like, oh, the girls are doing really well, or the girls are mean today, or something like that.
Because they are all girls. The queen lays eggs, and when she herself inseminates those eggs, they become her daughters. If she lays an unfertilized egg, it becomes her son, and there's very few of those, and they don't do any work. So all the bees that are out there flying, picking up nectar and pollen are females. So they call them their girls.
So what's the big difference then between how can you tell a male bee apart from a female bee? By your eye?
Oh, the males look different. They're fat, they have big eyes, and they only fly out in the afternoon, if there's any. We haven't actually seen any this year yet because there's none born in the winter. They die off in the winter. So the queen's starting to, in our last inspection, we saw signs of them being developed, but I haven't seen any adult drones yet. They're called drones. The male bees are called drones, and only about 4% of all of the bees that come out of that hive are boys. And they have a fat look, they don't have a stinger, and they don't do any work on the flowers.
So they really don't bring anything to the hive?
No, but they are important because when new queens arrive or need to emerge and need to be mated, they mate away from their own hive with whatever male bees are available.
When did you start beekeeping, and what inspired you to become a beekeeper?
Well, part of that answer would be my father was a beekeeper in Georgia.
Wow.
And when I was a teenager, I wouldn't be caught dead going out with my father. He would drag my brothers out to work in his bees. So when I moved here and we bought this little piece of property, I had horses at the time, and I knew I wasn't going to continue in horses, but we had the idea. My husband had this big idea about keeping bees. He had never done it before. And we did a little research, and we found a beehive for sale, and we bought it, and that was our first hive, and it was about 28, almost 30 years ago.
Wow, time flies, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It's unbelievable how fast
Yes.
time flies by. How much property do you actually need to keep bees, and how many hives do you have on the property?
You don't need much property at all. Bees fly, and they don't care where the property lines are. So if you can find a spot on your own small property that fits a beehive and has a windbreak to the north side, and you face it to the south, and it's not facing anything that's dangerous like a child's play area or something, you can keep a beehive there, even on the deck of an apartment if it's allowed. Bees will fly to wherever they find within a few miles to collect the nectar and pollen that they need.
And I've heard that hives do better in full sun, which for me was counterintuitive because I think, well, the bees are going to get really hot and they're going to need some shade, but they say everywhere I've heard is full sun. Why is that?
They do prefer it. The ones in the shade tend to have more parasites and problems, and they don't develop as quickly, but the early morning sun hits the front of the hive, they are out working. The most sun that they can have during any day, during the flowering season. In the wintertime, it doesn't matter as much, but yes, they prefer full sun, and they are healthier if they're in full sun.
So today is just about the end of March. It's roughly 50 degrees or so, but I do see the bees are out. Can we go into one of the hives and maybe take a closer look?
Sure.
I'm putting my suit on here, Mary, but I often see people on YouTube who don't wear any kind of beekeeping protection. What's that all about?
They're just showing off.
Is that what it is? I don't feel like I need to show off. These things do hurt. You're used to them?
I am. I don't even, he never knows when I get stung. He cries like a baby. but I don't wear my wedding rings because twice I've had to have my wedding ring cut off of my finger by a jeweler because I don't stop working.
Wow, that's dedication.
Yeah.
How many times a year do you think you get stung?
You know, that's the kind of question other people ask, not beekeepers.
Beekeepers? Beekeepers don't ask that question?
No.
I'm going to guess 10.
Maybe 100.
Really? You get stung 100 times a year?
Because I don't always dress up.
Okay.
And also, I'm doing things that probably irritate the bees a little bit.
What irritates the bees?
Me going into their hive and caging the queen and doing all the things I do.
How long does a queen live for?
I have had queens as old as 4 years. I put a color mark on my queens, and I know her age when I see her. And I have had 4-year-old. In research and stuff, they know 5-year-old queens can exist, but it depends on how much sperm they have stored in their body from their mating flights as a newly emerged virgin, and when it runs out, they die.
How many male bees will a queen mate with?
A nicely mated queen might have up to 20 mates. And when she starts laying eggs, she never mates again.
What happens to the male once the male mates with the queen?
He is a suicide bomber. If he catches her in flight, his body gets pulled apart and he dies. He has one job to do, and if he's successful, it ends his life.
So if he leaves in the morning and doesn't come home, that was a good day.
Yes.
And I see you have some metal grates here. What's that for?
That's to keep the mice out in the winter.
That hive tool works really nice the way it can get underneath the frames and pry them out. Look at that. That's beautiful. So tell everybody what we're seeing here.
Okay, this is worker brood, capped worker brood. After it gets capped and 21 days after the queen laid the eggs, those emerge as young bees. And then the queen goes right back and starts laying eggs around them. I happen to know that there's a 2-year-old queen in here. When I saw her before, she's got a red mark, and that was from 2 years ago. So it could be that she's going to be replaced anyway, but I'm going to do my best to keep her because I have a fondness for my older queens.
She has a red mark. Does that have anything to do with the year that she was born?
Yes.
So what is the color for 2025?
Blue.
Blue, okay.
Yeah. Last year it was green.
What's royal jelly all about?
Royal jelly is the first food that all the bees get. All the new larvae are fed royal jelly, and if they had to make a queen out of any of those, for some reason, if I killed a queen or sold a queen right now, they could continue the royal jelly and make any one of these eggs a queen.
So if you accidentally squish the queen while you're doing this hive inspection, there's enough bees in here and royal jelly that they can create a new queen.
Every every egg that hatches gets fed royal jelly for the first day or two. It's only the ones who are going to be queens that continue to get it. The workers don't need any more royal jelly. Boy, I put all these brood on the bottom just 2 weeks ago, so they have moved up.
I feel lazy here not giving you a hand with this stuff.
Well, I have to be strong.
Oh, it's a good workout.
In spite of my age.
A full super of honey. Do you know how much something like that would weigh?
This would be a medium box, and each frame will be about 8 pounds of honey if it was full of honey. So 9 across or 10 across.
72 pounds?
Yeah, could be in this box. We usually take a shallower box for our honey and only keep 9 frames in them, and that's 3 or 4 pounds each in the shallow boxes.
How many pounds of honey do you harvest a year?
Depends on how many colonies we have as honey producers, and in past years when we had a lot more bees, we would do 4,000 or 5,000 pounds, but right now we're in about 2,000.
And what do you do with the honey?
We sell it. We actually use our honey as wedding favors. We sell it as wedding and baby shower favors. So we have a website, and people order for special occasions, and we give them little jars, and they celebrate things.
Great. Well, that sounds like a great gift. It's one of those things that will actually be appreciated and used.
Yeah. I just got an order today from someone in New York that is having a baptism, a Greek baptism.
And so they'll have small honey jars?
Yeah.
About how many ounces?
The ones that they were asking are 6 ounces of honey and 100 of them.
That's a good amount of honey.
Yeah. Welcome to our honey house. Can you see that?
Okay, yeah.
That is 1 frame of honey.
Wow, you just left it, and that would stay there like that for hundreds of years.
Yeah, yeah.
They say that.
I will probably take that out and extract it and put a new one in.
Honey doesn't go bad, though.
No, it has no expiration date. This is the uncapping machine, which the frames go through that we collect the cappings and then put the frames into this. It's going to be spinning, and all the honey is going to fly out, and then collect it as it pours out.
And you'll collect that in a 5-gallon bucket at a time?
Yeah, it's a pure raw honey that we store.
What is this over here?
This is where we bottle it.
And then you take that, dump it into one of these stainless steel containers. It goes through one of those pipes.
You can see the different colors there. Our spring and a summer.
So the spring is closer to the window.
Yeah.
And this is the summer.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of honey in here right now even.
Yeah. We use that other one for other varieties that we might occasionally bottle.
And that's 16 ounces of honey?
Pretty close to it. But that's how.
That works great. So we were standing here and somebody came and picked up a jar of honey. So how does that work?
People can place their order on my website and pay by credit card, or tell me how they want to pay it, or they call me up and tell me what they want and when they want to pick it up, and I set it out here with their name on it.
That's great. It's a real neighborhood thing.
Yes.
So people around the neighborhood or
anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere can come by and pick up a jar of honey, or they can come and order it online, or call and order it online, or go to your website, I should say.
They can do that.
All right.
They can request it be shipped as well, and there is a shipping fee when that's applied for.
All right, well, we'll have all of your information in the description below, or maybe even on the screen right here, and hopefully you'll get some more business from this video.
Just what I need.
Yeah, if you can handle it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.